Lost pages in the wind while I'm walking through Lorain. Broadway looking empty, but it's talking to my pain. Oh, still playing shadows where I learned to be strong. Every setback in my life turned into another song. Streetlights flicker like they know what I became. Young king in the making with a story in his flame. Every block wrote a lesson that carved out my name. It's the chapter they forgot, but I rose from Lorain. Lost pages of a young king, written in the city rain. Every block in Lorain held pieces of my pain. Stories in my backpack, dreams heavier than steel. I was trying to show the world how a legend's supposed to feel. Corner store nights, whole city on my shoulders. Ink from my pen turned the summers even colder. They ain't read my struggle, they ain't know what it brings. I'm the author of the trenches, every page from Lorain. Lost pages of a young king, written in the city rain. Every block in Lorain held pieces of my pain. Stories in my backpack, dreams heavier than steel. I was trying to show the world how a legend's supposed to feel. Corner store nights, whole city on my shoulders. Ink from my pen turned the summers even colder. They ain't read my struggle, they ain't know what it brings. I'm the author of the trenches, every page from Lorain. These the pages they ain't read, these the chapters they ain't see. Every alley in Lorain used to speak right back to me. I was young but I was chosen, wanna carve my own lane. Writing stories with my past, every notebook full of pain. Summers by the lakefront, dreams fell too far. Mama said I'd be a king, even covered in these scars. Walking Broadway with a purpose, heart heavy as a boulder. City taught me how to move smart, eyes over shoulders. I done seen the storms hit, I done watched the sun fade. But legends get rebuilt from the ruins they made. Every fight, every loss, every cut I stitched alone. Still turn my broken thoughts into chapters of my own. From the west side to the block by the old steel mill. Lord raised me up strong, gave a king I will. These the pages they'll study long after I'm gone, like a prophecy written before the early dawn. Never folded in the struggle, never broke from the weight. I was built by a city that only legends create. And if they tear my books up and try to rewrite my name, the truth still live forever in the soil of Lorain. Every chapter got a purpose, every memory a flame. I'm the kid that counted out, now I'm carved in the game. Young king with a storyline carved out the pavement. Every word I ever wrote came straight from the basement. I rose through the dark with a fire in my hand. Built a legacy the city always knew I would command. Ain't no lost stories, they just waiting to be heard. Every heartache I survived sharpened up my words, turned struggle into power, turned pain into flame. Ain't a page in my book that don't scream Lorain. Young king with a storyline carved out the pavement. Every word I ever wrote came straight from the basement. I rose through the dark with a fire in my hand. But the legacy the city always knew I would command. Ain't no lost stories, they just waiting to be heard. Every heartache I survived sharpened up my words, turned struggle into power, turned pain into flame. Ain't a page in my book that don't scream Lorain. Try to steal my chapters, tear the cover off my hope. But every time they close the door, I learn new ways to cope. Walking through Sheffield, past the tracks of dreams derail. I was scribbling in my notebook how a king would never fail. Old heads told me, youngin', your story bigger than blocks. So I wrote about my city till my pen ran out of ink spots. Every scar became a symbol, every night became a test. And them pages caught the moments when my heart was at its best. I remember late nights writing near the lake on my phone, telling God if I make it, I'll bring Lorain right along. Every tear on them pages made the message even clearer. I was speaking to the future while I looked back in the mirror. Yeah. School halls felt cold, dreams never felt close. But I kept adding to my chapters, like a legend supposed. I ain't perfect, but I'm honest, that's a part they respect. Wrote my pain into the wind, till the world felt effect. I ain't fall to the pressure or the weight of the hate. Just another Lorain story that the world can't recreate. If they read it in order, they gon' see what I became. Not a kid with a notebook, a whole king from Lorain. Open up the pages, you gon' read where I bled. Every chapter from the bottom where my hunger was fed. They tried to close the book on me before I grew wings. Now the whole world watching what a Lorain king brings. Turn the sorrow into scripture, turn the dirt into gold. fame. It's the legacy edition. Sign Mr. Lorain on every page. Author by for